Exactly. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Meta Cafe for your daily astrology, human design, and tarot energy report. Jason and I did not plan this morning, but I'm wearing white on black, and he's wearing black on white, even if his white is
Well, my
skin.
skin is white and alabaster, so.
Alabaster, is that what you said? What is alabaster exactly? Is that like plaster of Paris, only more breakable?
It is a fine, beautiful, gorgeous grade of marble, as a matter of fact. And how funny that you ask, because I'm going to show you and everybody, this is a dish that's been carved out of alabaster that the Egyptians used. And look at when you look at it through the light. I mean,
wow.
You could see the grains. It is beautiful. So it is a very luminous, kind of almost glass looking. It's in the jadeite. It's in the marble.
Is it cold like glass? You know, like if you touch glass, how it's cold?
And if you tap it on your teeth, it really is. Think about it being in the jade family or in the high-end marble. It's a refined marble. And usually it's extremely white, like white. This happens to be from Italy. It's a different color. But white.
That looks great.
And why people would say, oh, she has alabaster skin. And usually it's just perfect, you know. But anyway, thank you for letting me go on about alabastards.
Well, it's because I asked. Good morning, Michelle, and good morning, Mimi. Thank you for joining us this morning on the Meta Cafe, in the Meta Cafe, I guess we should say, not on it.
I have a question.
Questions are free. Answers might cost you.
Okay. If I go to your website, you should know this, Jason. You should have gone to my website. If I go to your website, is there a hyperlink that I can copy and paste to other people who can't seem to go to Facebook and just type in Living Astrology?
Yeah. You mean hyperlink to the morning show, or to what?
Morning show, because
actually, every day I post the video on my website on the homepage. So if people miss it, you know, I take it and I put it on YouTube, and then I put it out there on my website, LinkedIn, Pinterest, you name it, it goes out there. I spend a good 30 to 40 minutes after we're off air doing that.
No, I'm talking about beforehand. So, like, for instance, my crazy aunt, who I adore, the idea of her typing in like I gotta like send her a link so she can click on it and it'll be the end of the day. So
yeah, you could send her the facebook.com/living astrology, and that would get her directly to the Living Astrology page. So beautiful. And then she would see everything that, you know, everybody else would see as far as the different videos from the different days without having to go too far. It's really pretty easy. Good morning, Roseanne. Good morning, Norma. Good morning, Michelle. Yay, she's back from her Harry Potter trip to Florida. I'm so excited I get to see her today. And anyway, so let's get right to it, because I got a day from you know where today, and I just want to give out a quick reminder.
Okay.
Because remember last week I started talking to people about taking time to journal during the 12 days of Christmas. Well, the first day was yesterday. Today's the second day of Christmas. Yesterday's energy should equate to the Aries time of year, which is going to be from about March 22nd through to April 20th.
Yes.
Today's day is super damn important because today equates to the Taurus time of the year. And so today and tomorrow, big days, because this is going to be the lead into Uranus moving out of Aries and into Taurus. And I know none of that makes sense except for symbolically, some of the events that happen today may be precursor events to the things that we see happen May 15th when Uranus actually moves out of Aries and into Taurus. So be looking at how things are going with your own money, perhaps. Your own ability to manifest the things that you want to manifest in your life, what's happening in the economy. You know, if you happen to hear the news, what's going on in and around the things that we value as a people, and that might be able to, you know. And I tell everybody to journal this, because it's really kind of fun to go back. Once we get to March and April, if you want to go back and look at some of the things you wrote during this time, then you're going to get a glimpse into the likely events or things that might be happening. So it's kind of an exercise in your psi power, your ESP, your precognition of events that are coming up. So I did this yesterday, and of course, yesterday was not a bad day. It was not necessarily a great day either. But I was just taking note of things as they were coming up. And of course, I've already started this morning taking note of things that are coming up. And interestingly enough, astrology saved my life this morning, in that I had already woken up with the idea of announcing to the world that I was not going to be an astrologer anymore. I was going to leave this because I'm tired of the up and down of this kind of work. And I was just going to sit back and do what I love to do, which at this point happens to be playing with Bitcoin. And I was just going to do that and let people find me if they wanted a reading. Then I pulled the chart for the day.
And it said,
no.
Fuck you very much.
Yes, it did. In a way, it did. It
Other
did. Thank you for
you.
not choosing to take action today, because the moon is conjunct Eris and Uranus in Aries, which is sort of a rebellious revolution sort of day that you will very well likely be tempted to upset the apple cart. And I was already feeling that revolutionary impulse. I mean, I just felt like I'm just going to toss it all over. I'm tired of having to try to get people to get readings. I'm tired of advertising and all the detail work that it takes to, do this work. And I was like, just feeling like I'm done. What would I feel like if I just let that all go? And then I saw that and I went, shit, because this really is my work. This is what I like to do. So don't take rash actions today. Listen to the Janet who is telling you, I saved my life by looking at the chart first. Yes, Jason.
I wish it fit melodically, but I was going to go into last night a DJ saved my life. But it's hard to put astrology into that. It doesn't work. Last night astrology saved my life.
The star saved my life tonight.
There we go. Last night star saved my life. I'm listening to you and I'm laughing because here goes again, living astrology.
Living astrology, literally.
Here goes, folks. I woke up this morning, and Janet doesn't even know this. I have a situation at the moment whereby... Wasn't that nice? Wasn't that good? That was so good. I have a situation that could have been... No.
Do you have a piece of spaghetti in your hand?
It is just a pointer.
Oh, gotcha.
Piece of spaghetti. Yes. I can say, you'd say that it's about as random as anything for me. Like, yeah, I like to hang out with a nice sliver of lasagna shell. But anyway, so I got up this, and even though I know better as an evolving soul, I just want to prove Janet's point. I woke up in a pleasant enough mood, slightly gritchy. I got up and I went into the living room, and someone was asleep there. And
someone that knew?
We have a guest staying at my house. Get my drift. And this person, who has been challenging lately, who I love, but on the couch. My first instinct was, guess what, Janet?
Go kick him off the couch and tell him to get out?
Make so much fucking noise that... Wait,
he was disturbed?
Just to be not nasty, but small-minded. So I'm going to use that word.
Good one.
Thank you, Roseanne. She loves story time with Jason. I love telling stories.
Grab your tea and your coffee.
At one moment, Janet, I fucking swear to God to you. Do you know when you take two lids of pots and pans?
Like on New Year's Eve?
I swear to God, when I saw that, my natural impulse was to start Do you know, there's a name for it, and I'll bet as a wordsmith, you know the name for it. What are those one-man band things, where there's the foot bass thing, and then there's a cymbal, and he's playing a harmonica, and he's got the hat thing, and blah, blah, blah. That was my next vision.
The one-man show.
And caught myself. I said, Jason, does that look like the actions of an enlightened being? Or someone who's striving to be an enlightened being, not trying to be a little fucking dickhead cocksucker. And I say that about myself with all of the love possible. But, Janet, I'm not joking. I am generally, even though I can be aggressive, I am not a warring person. I wanted to make war this morning. And so what did I do? I took 10 seconds.
Breathe.
And I breathed, and I did the pause thing. And
yes.
I said, okay, let's see where this goes. And I did not dump a pot of freezing cold water. I took notice of myself. I said, Jason, what good is going to come of that? So you can just make the whole day go like this? This person is at a disadvantage in life. What are you doing? I got my coffee, went back into my room, and I asked myself the question, if I loved myself, would I act like that?
Good question.
So there you are, Miss Living Astrology. You're already talking about shit that's happened before I've gotten up.
It seems it's in the air this morning, right? We all want to take rash action. And we all want to do things that are upsetting or that are going to change up the energy. And I'm wondering if it isn't from a sense of restlessness. And you guys are going to have to sit with me with this for a second, because you know how literally the outer world for the last several months has left us breathless. I mean, there's one thing after another, one trauma drama after another happening on the outer world, whether it's with our president or it's a shooting or some other, major issue that we've been, sort of besieged by them. And I've noticed over the last week, we haven't been besieged by these things. And I wonder if that sort of creates that space within us, that part of us that literally sometimes craves that energy of drama and the pot stirring sort of energy that we carry as human beings. And it's been quiet, so there's no pot to stir. Or there's nothing out there simmering and about ready to explode. So are we feeling the, how you get that adrenaline surging through your body in total expectation of things that are going to happen. And then eventually that adrenaline wears off and you're left feeling that flush of sort of either fatigue or letdown, like something's not happening the way that I wake up in the morning and I expect this stuff to happen and it's not happened. And so then there's that, So I don't know if it's that or if it is literally the fact the moon, very feminine, very soulful, coming into contact with the goddess of war and the rebel of the crew of planets, and that couple of hours today where rash action as a result of restlessness or boredom or whatever, dissatisfaction with the world, can create such a huge problem. So be cool, breathe before you take action. Make sure it's what you really desire and not something that's going to make you feel good in the moment, like throwing a pot of ice water on your guest on the sofa.
Are you doing things? Are you acting out because you're unhappy?
Good question.
Little light talk in the morning. Wait, here, let me see if I can. This is my version of LOL. There you go.
Love it. So Mimi says, winter is time to go to the cave and sit at the entrance to observe the world if possible. That is probably a really good set of words for all of us. Sit at the cave, don't make the action. Don't take the action. Roseanne says she's feeling restless rage. Yes. And yeah, I get it's, and for me, literally, it's not rage. It's just, what? I'm so done. I'm so done stressing and straining and pushing. And what would happen This was my thinking this morning. What would happen if I just let all that go and just sat like Buddha waiting for people to come to me? Wow, what a concept. And immediately my fear was, well, then I will sort of sink into obscurity and no one will ever know that I existed, much less that I exist. That was my first fear. Holiday hangover, that's a great one. Holiday hangover, we can make a song out of that one. So anyway, just all these different things that are coming up today. And I just find it fascinating that these things come up. Astrologically, I know better. And even I wanted to get taken. I could have just easily been taken down, but I pull this thing called a chart every day before I come on air with you all. And that forces me to look at what's going on up there in the heavens. And I look and I go, oops. Thankfully, I did not take action. But there was something else going through my head in the middle of it. You see, this is the problem. I'm not getting enough sleep because I'm in fear over God knows what, everything seems. So I'm waking up in the middle of the night and I'm thinking. I'm looking at my incarnation cross of my human design chart. So those of you who coach with me know what that is. And I'm looking at my incarnation cross going, am I doing my life wrong? I mean, I felt I'm seriously, there's one word that came blaring at me in the middle of the night, and it was fraud. You're a fraud. You're not even living your own human design correctly. You're doing exactly those things you know you're not supposed to do, but you're doing them anyway. Yet you're telling everybody out there how to live their lives according to their human design.
Please don't start me. You're making me die.
Isn't it funny, the things that you go through in the middle of the night in the dark, in the cave? Mimi, I shouldn't be in the cave. That's the problem. If I go to that cave, I'm fucked. And yes, you heard me say that word.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny. I'm listening to you, and you know that you're echoing, and I'm echoing you. When she talked about the cave, the first thing I thought was, yes, the Hermit card. How can you be in the world? How can you be of the world, but not in it? Or in the world, but of it. It's that observation thing. And I thought of the Hermit card going in and working on your light, letting your light guide you. But on the outside, just doing everyday menial things, living within the world.
Yeah. You know, how many times have you heard me say, maybe I've never said this out loud to you, but sometimes when I get into that mood, I am just going to fuck everything and go grow sunflowers. Because that's what I would do. I would just go get my plot of land and I would plant sunflowers and I would make sunflower seeds, sunflower oil, sunflower whatever, and not give one whit about trying to survive in this world. Have I ever told you that?
Well, here you go, folks. You're going to get to see real life stuff happen in real time with Janet and I. So Janet and I know each other pretty well. We discuss things that other people are. So my first most impressive memory, I was 4.5 years old. I was born in Ohio. As you know, lots of agriculture. And my parents had a Viennese woman, Mama Cristina. I'll never forget her. She was an old Viennese woman that could bake. When I'm telling you, could bake. And
like these cookies.
we're talking about like puffs of meringue. I mean, like, whatever. So old school. And so she was our housekeeper at that time, and she would look after us every once in a while. My mother was the kind of lady that would clean before the housekeeper would get there. Anyway, anyway,
that's a woman thing. I do it too.
One weekend, I'll never forget this. You know how you have those memories that are sort of emblazed in your brain, like you'll never, and it comes to you throughout your life. So I was 4.5, 5, really small, obviously. And they brought us over to Christina's house to stay over. Well, first of all, it was the first time I walked into this extra room, and I had never seen a feather bed. And it was me with 2 other kids who were real small. And I remember seeing this big marshmallow, huge. And Christina was like, go ahead, jump. And I remember I dove, and it was like, poof. Oh my God, this is great. But she said, okay, get to sleep. Tomorrow morning we have a surprise. So of course you're like little kids, like, get up in the morning, get Sandman out of our eyes. It is a clear blue day. She takes us walking. She's got me by the hand and my sister. And all of a sudden, I see brown, which is the ground, this pop of insane green. And I keep looking up as a little kid. And suddenly I am standing in a natural field of nothing but sunflowers, the big ones. You know,
the big mammoth heads that are 12 inches across.
Imagine a field for as far as the eye can see. And I was small, so obviously I wasn't being like picked up. Looking up, you see green and orange and sun and happy, and then blue clouds and, you know, blue sky and white. And I just remember the sun coming in and seeing these sunflowers and being astonished at these giant things that were so beautiful. And it's because of that sunflowers I try to plant every summer. It is one of my favorite flowers in the world. It makes me happy. And so for you to say that, I was like, wow, that's my first floral childhood memory.
Sunflowers make me happy. I love it because the birds hang in the fall. The birds hang by the heads of the flowers to pull the seeds off the middle of the flower, and they're just so bright and sunshiny. And
I hear you.
God help me, that's what I would do. I would just buy a plot of land and plant a bunch of sunflowers and live happily ever after.
I think it's important for people to see the fact that, you know, they look at us as guides or spiritualists or insane, which I'll take that.
Crazies. It's the crazy show.
There's all that, you know, oh, they should know better or they're more evolved. No, we are all humans dealing with this human design, living with this living astrology, and hopefully becoming enamored with cartomancy. And for all of you that don't know what that is, it's the reading of spiritual tarot cards. But it's great to see you falter. It's great to see you human.
Oh, I'm not faltering. This is not a falter. This is a fork in the road. And I'm at that fork. I'm not going to make this decision lightly because I'm going on vacation, maybe. And maybe because, you know, my head is, well, that's a whole fucking nother story. And I'm not going into it. But I'm at this fork in the road. Which direction am I going to go? And that's not a decision to make today, people, because it might be rash and it could be the wrong one. I know better. I am emotionally defined in my human design, which means that I don't make decisions quickly. And that is because emotions flow like waves. And I happen to be in the lower part of that wave right now. And if I make that decision, when I get back to my cheerful self, I'm going to go, boy, that was a stupid thing to do, Janet. So I know better than this. I'm not doing that. But what I am saying is that I feel like something's changing, something, you know, and it's not just because we're in the cusp of the new year. I think there's literally a choice point that I'm personally coming to, and it is going to be about whether I continue in this vein, or maybe it's not even about that. Maybe it's about continuing in this vein, but in which direction am I going to head? So lucky for you guys, you get to hear us play it out full on a daily basis as we go through our crazies. Jason, would you pull the card for today? Because I just feel like there's probably some more wisdom in that card.
Sure, absolutely. You know, you said something, and of course, as soon as you say it, you know, I'm going to pipe in. She went like this. Janet went like this. She's at this precipice. And that is the number 6 card, Parting of the Ways. She now is standing. Her yellow brick road has been. She hits the Lover card, the 6th card. It's not really called the Lover card. It's a stupid misappropriation. But it's called the Parting of the Ways. And you'll see in the background is Janet. And then in the foreground, you will see male and female, which is symbolizing different parts of self and such. Now Janet has to figure out what road, after having observed herself, is she going to go down. That's where she's at.
Let me tell you something. I'm not going to figure this out because that is not how it works, right? I'm going to respond to what shows up in my outer world. The opportunities that show up in my outer world are going to drive what I actually do, which is the huge benefit of knowing astrology and human design. First is that I know better. And even though my emotions are driving me today, I don't want to see that card.
I'll pick another.
No.
Do over.
The damage is done, Jason. The damage is done.
Do over.
No. Tell us what that means.
Of course, like the death card, or like the tower card, this card, chills people when they see it, and rightfully.
Show it again. I put the
If this doesn't chill you, then you have mental issues. Okay. Please take note of the red, beautiful fabric down below.
Or is that white fabric that's tainted with his blood?
I want you to also, I've never taken this moment to rightfully show you. Look at what is the top of the sword called again? Is it the hilt?
Yeah.
The hilt, okay.
The handle,
See if you can see. This is deep. You were right. Symbology, which I've never talked to you about on this card. Tell me what you see at the very top, the hilt. What are the hilts of these swords?
Hoofs.
Yeah.
Are they really?
Why are you laughing?
Because I'm like, horses' hooves? Why would they be up there?
What else has a hoof?
What?
What else has a cloven foot? What else is a hoof?
The devil.
What else?
The devil.
And what does the devil rule?
Creative energy. Matter. Oh, yes, that too.
Yes. I'll go with that. But it rules matter. It rules the third dimension and all of that.
Yeah.
This is the plaguing of everyday stuff. These swords that are always in you, that are there. That's the fear at night that keeps you up. This is the fear. This is the card that all of those swords were placed there by us. And all of those swords have Satan's handle. Now, please, people who are listening, who have not listened to my show, I am not saying this in a glib manner. If you like, please go back to my Titillating Tarot with Jason Livanis and listen to the expose in length on the devil card.
Yeah. Hey, maybe I'll rebroadcast that episode tonight.
Thank you. Or at
Except there were several of those episodes, so I'd have to go with the first one, I think.
Exactly. But the fact of the matter, Janet, is the reason there are hooves discussing the physical world, it's because this is about a lot of physical stuff that you have manifested because of your mental. When you withdraw these swords, you are left with yourself and nothing but pure creative spirituality right here.
Yeah.
This is the area of the spirituality once you take these swords out. Now, this card is an uncomfortable card. It is uncomfortable like today. It is a severe card. It is a card that will make you do stupid things as you try to take out the sword. What happens is people try and take out the sword, but they're not. They're pushing it in deeper. And that's a problem. So that's why you need to observe. That's why you need to get grounded in your spirituality. You had said something before, and I was going to bring sex into the conversation, sincerely. And it had to do with the fact that you were saying something about unused energy or energy which is not being properly directed. And I can't remember what you had said. I'll try and get that thread back later, but it had something to do with the fact that if we don't deal with our beginnings, our root chakras, which is where everything kind of stems from, When you activate these chakras and you go up, let's say you've activated to the heart chakra. Once you hit that heart chakra, Janet, yes, it will give you the gifts of that once you've mastered that center. But if you can imagine all the heartache you've had in your life, if you can think of all the matters of the heart that you've had in your life, and if you're able to sit there as an actualized metaphysician or human and say, I think I have processed the issues of my heart. The issues of my heart. Then you don't get the benefits. This is the card that says, take care with the instrument you have. Pull the swords out according to your type and strategy.
Yeah, yeah. That's interesting. That's an interesting way of looking at that card. Lovely card. Lovely card. So
Liar. It is definitely shocking. So that, that's that. I'm sorry to everybody out there, but like I said, it's a week between Christmas and New Year's, and we don't, as you all know, spread the word to your friends and such. We don't get paid for this. We do this because it's a public service, because we love you, because we want to share our knowledge.
No, I do because I want to vent.
Yeah, well, there's that too. We get that wonderful platform. It gives me the ability to say, this and that. And, let's be honest. We do this also too for advertisement, to show people what it is that we do and the quality of the work that we do. But it's free. So the fact of the matter is again, you can almost understand how you try and put this kind of good out into the world and help and this and that. And you're like, really, universe? Really?
Really?
Okay.
Is that
all right?
Well,
really?
So tonight, Jason is not going to be live on air.
No.
And we will, I guess I will go back and I will hunt for the devil card, because I think that might be a good reminder for people. And so you can still listen to the show. It'll still broadcast at 4 p.m. It'll just be a repeat of a show from a few weeks, probably a few months back now. And I have not yet decided if I'm going to broadcast live tomorrow night or not. We'll just see how I feel tomorrow night. How's that? Ha ha. I may do a rebroadcast of an earlier show. I may not. We'll see what happens. So we'll let you know that tomorrow. And in the meantime, I'm done. I've got to go and get busy on my day. And I love all of you. Jason, I love you so much. We will see you all tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Thursday. We are one less day to 2017. I can't even believe that.
Ugh. Let's usher it in. Let's get on with this.
Let's get on with it. All right, guys. Take care. See you tomorrow.